Yo. This is Steven Moustaris, as always, bringing you the fifth and final round. Just my last little 5-minute take for any MMA news coming up in the world. And I just did a video breaking down Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. So if you want to check that out, that'd be pretty awesome. But I really wanted to dive in to this big conversation. The biggest topic maybe of this weekend is the women MMA community coming up big and the fighters just evolving like no other. And we have two huge title fights this weekend. And at a time, we're sitting here, it seems like it was just yesterday that we had Ronda Rousey getting signed to the UFC, even though Dana White for years saying there'll never be women in the MMA, or UFC, I should say. There'll never be it. And then we're watching her flip girls over on their back, break their arms, knocking them out with judo throws, finishing them with little punches in the clinch, like doing everything that we've never seen or imagined a lady doing other than in boxing. But and then now we take a couple years in the future, right where we're at now in present time, and there are a solid 5 to 10 girls throughout any promotion, for sure at least like 6 in the UFC right now, that would probably beat the brakes off of Ronda Rousey, like we've seen Holly Holm do. And guess what? Holly Holm's not even one of those girls right now that I would consider. I mean, I know she probably could, but like compared to all these other women, like nah, man. And this, I just kind of want to applaud these ladies because it's like, Jesus Christ, the first title fight that we get to see this Saturday is Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. Like Valentina, if two decisions against Amanda Nunes go her way, or even one of them, we're looking at arguably the GOAT of women's MMA. Like if not the GOAT, definitely tied with, she's number 2 right now in my opinion, right behind Amanda Nunes. And I'm one of the believers that the first fight was so close. I wasn't mad at whoever won that fight. But the second fight, I had Valentina winning that fight just because she was doing way more work, doing not damage I'd necessarily say, but just point fighting way better, which those fights were a lot of point fighting. And you look at Valentina Shevchenko's last, like, actually, if you look at all her fights from 2015 to 2020, about to be 2021, the lady is just a killer. Only 2 losses to Amanda Nunes, which could have went either way. Her decision wins over Holly Holm and Jennifer Maia and Liz Carmouche, and I would like to say Nunes again because she did win the second fight in my opinion, but judges didn't give it to her, so you can't say it. But it's like, dude, those fights are almost more dominant somehow than her knockout wins or submission wins, which almost blow your mind because if you see that head kick knockout of Jessica like maybe the most vicious knockout of all time behind good old freaking Francis Ngannou taking off Overeem's head. But like seriously, like that was a vicious knockout. And if you remember Jessica laying unconscious in the fucking ring for like 5 minutes, that was one of the scarier things I've ever seen. And just putting an absolute whooping on her. So we're sitting here the last couple years with her necessary Valentina, and we're sitting here thinking like John Jones level, Habib level, a couple like Usman's almost getting there. Like I still think people can knock him out, but he's getting there to the point where it's like these guys are being so dominant right now. You almost don't see anybody beating them right now. And then here comes Jessica Andrade, who moves up weight class because the only people she's lost to, let's be real, the only 3 people that she's lost to in the last couple of years were the last 3 champions: Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Thug Rose, and Weili Zhang. Which she took a very vicious knockout to Weili Zhang, which at the time, I don't think many people knew how dangerous Weili Zhang was because she was so fresh. She was only like 1 UFC fight and then takes the belt off of her. So, and then, yeah, I know she was getting her ass beat by Thug Rose the first fight, but hey, can't blame her. She got the knockout, and so it just raised her level. But then she moves up, which I was kind of questioning because she's so small as it is, but she's so powerful. I was like, all right, okay, Caitlin Chookagian would be a perfect matchup for that title, or not that title, but that division to kind of test where she's at. And goes out there, one of the more vicious body shots of all time. And I'm sitting here now, and I almost think like Jessica Andrade and Valentina Shevchenko might be fighting the night. I know Weili Zhang and Rose Namajunas are definitely gonna probably bring it as well because Rose can't be in a boring fight. We've seen it with Weili Zhang; she can't be in a boring fight either. But these women really might steal the show, and I'm just as excited. Like I think this fight could have a vicious knockout. And if Valentina Shevchenko does get over this little hump that Jessica Andrade hump, there's almost nothing left for her other than maybe letting Zhang or Namajunas come up and fight her. But like I'm saying, that trio, that third fight against good old Amanda Nunes is almost inevitable at that rate. So I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. Finally, a test for Valentina Shevchenko. Weili Zhang and Rose Namajunas could be fight of the year, fight of the century. Like the way that Joanna and Weili Zhang fought, and Rose put the whooping. I know it's not always MMA math, doesn't always add up, but dude, these fights are going to be fucking amazing, and I cannot wait for them. And it brings my one last point was I don't know why Dana didn't. I feel like he's missing out. I know for the UFC 261 in particular, it's the first fight back with fans and all that. I get it, but I think Dana might have been able to get away if he would have pushed Amanda Nunes a little further back, or actually even booked her with anybody on this title fight or this fight card. You could have had the 3 women's belts go up on the line, and I know Amanda owns 2 of them, so I guess there's 4. But you know what I'm saying. All three champions, women champions, could have been defending on this card, and I guarantee you that the pay-per-views would have been just as good. Because I know Masvidal's on and whatnot, but like women's MMA is no joke anymore, and I just want to applaud you ladies because you guys are doing phenomenal. And shit, half the time now I'm looking at these UFC fights, MMA fights, and watching women, and I'm like, dude, these girls will kick the fuck out of me. So, hey, salute to you ladies. Go women's MMA. I want to see some crazy finishes this weekend. So, again, this has been the 5th and final round. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.